What stats are we going over
Yeah,
today?
I'm showing you the Cromford report, which is really cool data that we have here in the Phoenix metro area.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Financially Free Realtor. This is James Mitchner with Leslie Guiley. Leslie, good morning, and
Good.
thank you for showing the monthly stats. What stats are we going over
Yeah,
today?
I'm showing you the Cromford report, which is really cool data that we have here in the Phoenix metro area, put together by people at the W.P. Carey School of Business Real Estate Division.
Uh-huh.
And this shows, as of today, 9/18, the active listings in the Phoenix market, which is 22,000, which, is really about where we should be, honestly. You can see that last month it was 21,000, and then last quarter it was 15,000. And this is about when we had the builders add all their inventory.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of investors that were buying things at the beginning of the year that have just, getting ready to flip things and put them on the market. So we saw a big jump here, but
Uh-huh.
not too much of a change, just a little change between August and September. You can see here we have sales per month. In the last 30 days, it was 6,213. The 30 days prior to that, it was 6,316. So close to the same, but down from last quarter when it was 8,800. And that's
Okay.
where we saw the interest rates go up and the things slow down a bit.
So is it moving to a or buyer's market now
Yeah,
in
well, we
Phoenix?
look at that when we look at months of supply. And if you look down here right now, we're currently at 3.2 months of supply.
Uh-huh.
And we start being in a balanced market around 4 months. So, yes, definitely moving towards that. You can see last month it was just under three. And then last quarter, 1.4. And last year, not even 1 month of inventory. So it was like super red hot. And
Yeah.
now it is moving towards a balanced market.
So would you say that it's transitioning fairly quickly, or is this kind of what we thought was going to happen?
Well, no, this is the fastest transition, in recent history with how sharply the interest rates rose. As we know, the Fed was trying to slow down inflation, and so they, did what, three or four rate hikes this year already. And
Yeah.
so they've put the brakes on in a major way, but it hasn't affected inflation that much. If you are listening to the news, you'll see that in July inflation was 9%. That was like the last rate hike, and so they did it again, and then now it's at 8%
Yeah.
nationwide. Now, Phoenix, I'll tell you, that is one of the highest places that we have inflation. A lot of it is due to our housing costs, how far it went up, but it was averaging like 12% in the Phoenix market area.
Wow. That's
So,
insane. Okay.
yes, it has been a very sharp change. And what we're seeing, if you look down here at the median prices, whoops, let me move my screen a little bit here. At the median sales price, 442 is down from last quarter, which was 475,
Mm-hmm.
but still ahead of last year of 405. So what we're doing is prices are coming down, yes, but they're not crashing, but they are
Uh-huh.
giving back some of the gain that we had in the first part of 2022 when rates were still 2 and 3%. So
Yeah.
we are giving back some of that gain, but still over last year. And then if you look, what the average sales price is really, 544. So
Yeah.
this spot between 4 and 600 is like the hot spot for all the housing here.
Okay. That's just insane,
Yeah.
honestly. So,
Yeah.
yeah. And to kind of put that in perspective,
Mhm.
Phoenix saw what, a 50% increase in prices over the last 18 months, right?
Oh, yeah, I don't have that stat readily available. That doesn't sound wrong. Like look at this is here, let's look at this. 2 years ago, we can probably find it right here. 2 years ago, average price was 325 and it
Yeah.
went up to 475 by
Yeah.
last quarter, second
That's
quarter.
crazy.
So
That's
yeah,
crazy.
that was a huge increase. And that's a big part of that inflation number, which is why Phoenix is, showing higher inflation than the rest of the country.
So you're looking at 68%.
Yeah, but very
68%?
sharp. Very much sticker shock. People shopping for houses that thought, oh, we'll wait until the pandemic craziness is over.
Yeah.
They're definitely looking
That's
at
a
things.
68% increase. So when we say that we're giving back some of that equity, like there's still a lot of equity, and one of my
Yeah.
buddies posted about that.
Yeah, there's still,
It's
well,
still a
there's
good time
still
to sell.
absolutely. Most people have a lot of equity in their homes. So we're not
Hmm.
going to see, I mean, we're not in the same spot we were in 2008. Now it
No,
remains to be seen, what's happening. And, we can't anticipate all things. But what it looks like now, what most people are predicting is that prices are going to go down like, 10%, which is a dramatic drop, but it's not anywhere near what it was in the Great Recession.
no, not even close. I mean, when you have a 68% increase over 2 years and
Mhm.
you look at a 10% decrease, like that's honestly not
Right. And
anything in my opinion.
a great thing that we have going for us in Phoenix is that we do have a lot of jobs coming in.
Yeah,
So we still have people moving. And I've heard some people say, well, the people moving in is slowing down. It hasn't been reflected yet in the statistics, but we're watching that. But we do have a lot of jobs coming in, a lot of jobs in manufacturing, with the Taiwan semiconductor plant going in up in Northwest Phoenix. And then we've got a lot of electric vehicles in like the Casa Grande area. Pinal County is growing. So there is a lot happening in the East Valley too. So we'll have strong demand.
yeah, that's kind of what I figured.
Mhm.
And then you have the Prescott and Prescott Valley
I
reports as
do,
well.
because the more people that move into Phoenix, the more people that want to cool off by moving to where
Yeah, we
we
see that a
are.
lot in our market. People are like, oh, where are people moving from? Obviously, California first, and then we have Phoenix.
Right,
I mean, that's
right.
such a huge population down there that it comes up here, and um, we get a lot of Phoenicians. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Tons of
Okay. So let
Phoenicians.
me get my screen working here, and I will show you Prescott Valley. Little market update that I did at the beginning of September. We had 3.6 months of inventory, again, moving towards that balance of, 4 to 6 months.
Yeah,
Not quite a buyer's market, but moving towards balance, but down from less than one a year prior. We didn't
yeah,
have
that's
even one
crazy.
month of inventory. It was not sustainable.
No,
Um, so the number of homes sold in August was 76, down from 111 the year
yeah,
prior. Days on market still 35, so things are still moving.
yeah,
And the median sold price in Prescott Valley is still higher than it was last year.
and I've seen it. I mean, I still
Yeah.
look at the hot sheet. I'm like, man, we're still like cruising with those prices and even stuff that we're selling right now. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's still not a bad market, that's for sure if you're a seller. So, but there's
Yeah.
still some deals out there if you're a buyer also, if you're finding the right properties and looking at the right stuff and whatnot. So,
Well, you got to know what to look for,
yeah,
what houses to look for, because if it's somebody that has been in the house a while, like we said, they have equity and
yeah,
they can price it right. If they, if you have a good conversation with your agent and you understand what's happening, they can price it right. What we are
yeah,
seeing, and I don't know how many investors are in the Prescott Valley market, but in the Phoenix area, we're seeing there's a lot of investors that bought high and then they put money into it, and so they're the ones hesitant to lower their prices, but they have to get the property moved.
yeah, yep. We're seeing that here too. I just got a client under contract for a property that had been listed at 1.1,
Mm-hmm.
and over the last like 6 to 8 months has dropped its price. Finally, they down to 799.9, and they had three offers on it. They had offers all the way up to 850. We won the
Mm-hmm.
bid on it at 825, which was just amazing because there was escalation clauses going to that 850 price point and an 840 cash offer. But we wrote a letter explaining the buyer situation and that they could close pretty quick. They were in a fifth wheel, and so they were ready to move. And I think it came down to, kind of pulling on the heartstrings a little bit, which does work, and just showing motivation, right? So this family had motivation to move in. They were going to buy a house right down the street. That was going to be a new build that was taking a lot longer.
Mm-hmm.
So the seller was like, hey, this seems like probably our best bet that we're not going to be jerked around, which was amazing to be able to get that family under contract for sure. So
Nice. Yeah,
yeah,
great job.
yep,
Yeah, so there are people that still need to move. I mean, people are still, they need to move for job reasons, or they're retiring, or they want to be near family. Like they still have all the same reasons to move that people had to move. So there's
yep,
still going to be people that are moving out of necessity, but they're looking for those homes that are priced right.
yep,
So I brought up Prescott here it's similar to what's going on in Prescott Valley with just over 3 months of inventory and, a few less homes sold than the year August 2021.
Hmm.
31 days on market. That's all similar to Prescott Valley. But, and my arrow's going the wrong way here. I just noticed this. The median sold price is at 544, where last August it was 600. What do you think that's about?
I think that Prescott saw a huge surge, and I think that a lot of Airbnbs got bought, and a lot of people were trying to do exactly what you're talking about in Phoenix, where they bought these properties, tried to fix them up, and put money into them, and then the market shifted all of a sudden. So they're having to drop those prices. Not only that, but Prescott at one point in time, I think we had like an average sales price of almost $900,000. So that's when that happens, the luxury market's going to take a bigger hit.
Mm-hmm.
And just like Prescott Valley is kind of that median of the road. So it's you're going to have more sales out there because of price point, whereas Prescott was just so high for so long that those California prices drop. Buyers come out here from California, they're kind of expecting the same thing is what I've seen. So they're
Yeah.
being a lot more aggressive on their offer prices.
Well, what'll be interesting to see is how this goes next month, because a lot of times it's the pattern that we learn from and not necessarily just 1 month of data.
Yeah. Yep.
So,
I think we'll kind of know how things shake out by February or March. I don't know what I know you go to a lot of conferences and whatnot. So what are they kind of saying? What's kind of their crystal
yeah,
ball?
well, I think we're expecting more interest rate hikes because, that's what the Fed is warning. In fact, they're meeting on the 20th. So,
Yeah.
tomorrow. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, I think nobody's expecting interest rates to go down in the next couple of months. Probably some less inventory coming on the market, and we'll clear through some of these investor houses. The other thing that we're seeing is some of the investors are taking their homes off the market and renting them.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
some sellers too, if they just have to move, they can always put that home into the rental market because we're so short on long-term rentals, especially in the Prescott area where so much has been bought for Airbnb short-term rentals.
Yep.
And we're watching that new law that is going to take effect in October, where municipalities can make rules about short-term rentals.
Yeah.
So we'll watch what happens, and we'll do another talk about that once it goes live in October.
Which isn't a bad thing, that's for sure. Because I know a lot of families here in town, if you're looking at just my market here in Prescott, they're just so squeezed when it comes to prices and availability of what's out there.
Right.
It's kind of turning into Prescott, California. It's and that's the truth. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
So, but no, that was great. Thank you for recapping all of that. I appreciate it. Those are always good stats. I like the simple ones that just kind of show that it's direct and whatnot. You get into the Comfort report, that's kind of a little bit more jargon and more of like, hey, realtor to realtor or developer to developer, but there's great information on both of those. So thank you for sharing that, Leslie.
Absolutely. I've got more great data to share with you on future ones. So we'll dive into those later.
Perfect. Well, thank you guys for joining the Financially Free Realtor with James Mishra and Leslie Guiley. This is your August monthly report.